Wrestling coverage for tonight's SmackDown Live is coming up next for Grand Rapids, Michigan. Now, we had the return of Breezango, KO's rekindled friendship with Sami Zayn explained, Orton and Shinsuke team up, and Baron Corbin defends the U.S. title. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Welcome to the AfterBuzz TV SmackDown Live After Show. I'm your host, Gabby Loren. You can follow me at Gabrielle_Loren on Twitter. Next to my amazing, phenomenal, almost glorious co-hosts, Tom the Calm and Scott Narver. Where can we find you guys at?
You find me on Twitter and Instagram at Tom the Calm.
And you can find me at Scott Narver. Never have I thought ska music would be so evil. But it is.
And you say that's because?
Well, because of what happened at Hell in a Cell.
Wait, what happened? I don't know what you're talking about. That wasn't evil.
That wasn't evil?
No, it was love.
It was love. I agree with you, Tom. I think it was an act of love.
Exactly.
He injured a rich man.
He had it coming.
Well, the moment we're talking about is Hell in a Cell when Sami Zayn came in, disrupted the match, and saved KO at the very last moment. Now, I think that was a glorious moment. I kind of knew it was going to happen. We talked about it on the show at the SmackDown prior to Hell in a Cell, and we predicted this, you guys.
Not me. I did not predict this.
I did. I'll take credit.
Me and Tom,
I'll
high
take
five right there.
Yeah. I mean, I said it for weeks. I think it was a good turn because it wasn't something you completely saw coming, but it was good enough to where like he didn't beat up Shane, so they didn't have to go that way of like, oh well, he attacked Shane and helped Kevin Owens win. He was just helping out a friend, someone that he doesn't get along with all the time, but they are still friends.
A brother.
A brother, yes.
A brother, which we learned tonight. We'll get to a little bit later. But the first people we see in the ring tonight at SmackDown was the Usos, of course, who had a fantastic match at Hell in a Cell.
It was awesome.
I must say. It was amazing. Great way to, start the show and then great way to start SmackDown this week. So we see the Usos in the ring on the mic. They mentioned that when you come out of Hell in a Cell, you come out as a changed man. So they announced they have something to tell New Day, and they call New Day out. And they said, nobody can understand the pain we're going through except you three. And New Day asks if Us is making a truce. And I love that. I think that they are so smart. Their lines are just like the best ever every week. And it was a nice moment because they were, each showing respect for each other and kind of honoring the work that they both put in to be tag team champions, each at their own points in time. Yeah.
I thought it was a good way to set up, kind of say like, all right, we're closing the chapter on this. Like, we've gone as far as we can with both these teams. They've had, multiple matches that have been amazing. I'm going to miss not seeing their matches, but it's one of those things where when it comes around again and they kick it up another level, it's going to be even better.
Yeah, at that point, New Day could be the bad guys and Usos be the good guys. Who knows what's going to happen next time? But yeah, it was a really cool in-ring segment.
Right. I'm glad that WWE went in this direction tonight because I was sitting there on the couch thinking as I'm watching SmackDown, what are they going to do this time? It's the same people fighting week to week to week to week with the same storylines. And I just love how it opened it up to challenge the rest of the tag team, partners. So now we have everyone coming out from the SmackDown roster in the tag team division. So we see a lot of people. We saw Shelton and Gable, their team. We saw the Ascension come out, the Hype Brothers, and we got a reunion. We see Breezango for the first time in weeks.
Yes, finally.
Right, finally. It wasn't Fashion Files, which they said they were going to bring back.
Exactly.
Come on.
They did it at the pay-per-view, and then we're like, okay, we're going to continue this tonight. And I said this to Scott before. I said, where were the Fashion Files tonight?
No, they went MIA yet again. We should do a Fashion Files on Fashion Files. Like, where are these guys? But it was cool to see them again. And then, Daniel Bryan comes out after everyone's kind of being challenged to go up for this title and get the belt. Daniel Bryan comes out and says, I'm going to give you guys a fatal 4-way. And he puts all of these guys in the ring, but has the Usos and New Day exit the ring. And it was so cool because you hear the crowd screaming like, no, they weren't about it, which I thought was weird because don't you want to see all these new people coming in?
Well, we teased the part first of, I want all of you to get out of the ring. And they're saying, no, we want them all to be there, but here's why.
Gotcha.
So then I think they embraced that part of it of like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
so we're going to get a match.
I guess you're right. But I guess I'm the devil's advocate here. I kind of love those moments. And I'm like, yeah, get them out of the ring. Like, what else is going to happen next, It excites me to see what they're going to do when there's controversy or, some tension going on.
Yeah.
So that was a really cool moment.
I
Yeah.
feel like it made you feel like when he said that, like, what is happening? Like, are we going to see a new tag team? Like, what is going to happen? Like, you kind of figured the way they do it, they're going to, like, all right, we're going to set up Fatal 4-Way. But they could, with him coming out, he could always be like, here's another team added to this match. So,
Right. And then when we do see the Fatal 4-Way in the ring, it seemed like, Shelton and Chad, they're an amazing team together. They were so strong. I think Gable's really quick. And Shelton just looks like a powerhouse when he's in the ring. He just looks like a big ball of, like, fire and energy. And I wouldn't want to get in the ring with him because I'd be a little scared, I'm not going to lie. Out of all those guys, he looks like, one of the strongest. And then we see, Mojo Rawley knocking everyone out of the ring. Then everyone rushes the ring to get a pin. That was a cool moment. Nothing happens at that point. Then there's also a shot of the Usos by the commentary desk during the match. And, they're giving off that vibe that none of these wrestlers are kind of a match for us, just by the looks on their faces. And I like that moment to, like, tie it back into the people that are holding the championship.
Yeah, they've been through Hell in a Cell. Who else is worthy?
Yeah, I agree. So it's cool, and they're kind of like, who are these contenders, And speaking of contenders, Gable and Benjamin get the win, which I think was well-deserved. So they are now the #1 contenders for the Tag Team Championship next match, whenever that's going to happen.
yeah. I don't know when it's going to be. It's probably going to be on SmackDown before Survivor Series, I'm guessing, because that's the next big pay-per-view.
Sure.
But I thought it was a fun match. It was good. I liked them kind of teasing at the end of, like, Breezango winning and, Gable and Benjamin, got the best of them. But it was still... Breezango was, a good showing in this match to be like, all right, we can still get behind these guys.
Did you think Breezango had a chance?
I did. I thought they were going to win at the end. When he knocked either, like, Gable out of the ring or whatever, I was like, oh, they're going to win this. When he went to go do the leg drop or whatever, I was like, oh, I think they're going to win. And,
Yeah.
This is going to be a good match for the tag team belts.
Crowd went nuts when Tyler Breeze almost got that pinfall. They went crazy, and then it was big disappointment. I think it was really fun, and I like more teasing of the end of the Hype Bros.
Yep.
That there's the miscommunication, and they're yelling at each other. And I'm waiting for someone to say, just go backstage and watch it when this is over. Why are you arguing with me? It's caught on tape.
Yeah. When he was like, no, he pushed me. Like,
Yeah,
cause
like,
and it's,
nuh-uh.
yeah, and it's weird that the Ascension, they kind of were helping Breezango a little bit too. So, because I guess they want to be partners or friends with them. So there's a lot of layers in this match altogether. But I think it was the right decision to have Benjamin and Chad. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, their names.
I was about to say Benjamin
Jason
Haas,
Jordan and Charlie Haas.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I do think even though Gable and Benjamin are the next contenders, to be in the running for that title, that Breezango is going to find some way to get more involved. I just have a feeling because everyone loves them so much. They are really good together. They're great characters, and they're just so loved by the universe. So I don't see why they wouldn't come back in a match.
Fandango had an especially good strut this evening when coming to the ring. That was one of the funnier moments.
Was that your favorite moment of the night?
It was, no.
No?
I know what his
many?
favorite moment was.
One of many, but no,
Yeah.
not the favorite moment.
Okay, when we
Yeah,
get
these
to
are
that point,
contenders, sure. These guys.
when we get to that point, I want to know what your favorite moment is when it happens for you in our
I
conversation.
think you'll know. I think you'll know.
So the next thing that happens is Natalya is backstage with Lana and Tamina. Surprise, surprise. And then Carmela. So Natalya tries to get everyone on her side, of course, when she mentions they deserve the title more than Charlotte. So she's pretty much telling all the ladies, it's not about what you're thinking. Pretty much, we're all against Charlotte. Charlotte's the bad person. Charlotte doesn't deserve this title. And then Natalya makes a dig at Charlotte's father when Charlotte steps into the camera. And Charlotte gets, knocks her down.
Yeah.
She gets angry at Natalya.
I thought it was a good way of... I think this will be a good way to bring out a different side of Charlotte as well, because this was like a direct dig at Ric Flair of like... I can't remember the exact word she said, but it was just like, "Oh, do you remember what she said?"
He's as good a talker as Tamina, and then she got real mad.
It was something else. It was even worse. That was too nice.
Yeah, no, I was like, wait, but it was like I was like, wow, I'm surprised they would say that just because of what Rick has gone through. But I was like, all right, he knows what it's about. So, but I think it's gonna bring out another like a vicious side of Charlotte as a face, not as like a heel.
Right.
So I think it'll be fun to see.
A face, she's defending herself in that kind of respect.
Yeah.
So it's never going to be about, I'm an evil person, but I'm defending my family.
Yes.
In that sense.
Tamina looks like David Flair. Is that?
Yes, that's what she said.
It's kind of like a Shane McMahon situation. He's defending his family. He's not a heel necessarily.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens is the heel technically, right? Mm-hmm. At this point.
If you want to say that.
I feel like at this point, right? He's more than a heel. He's insane. Well, anyways, then we get into Renee introducing Baron Corbin backstage. We know Baron Corbin now has the U.S. Championship belt. Baron Corbin says he's shoving his title in the face of all the keyboard warriors, a.k.a. internet trolls, for those of you who are confused by that, and AJ Styles. He says he didn't need to take any shortcuts to beat two men at Hell in a Cell. He says tonight the house that AJ Styles built becomes the night that AJ Styles squandered.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was well said by Baron Corbin. I think he kind of needed to win at Hell in a Cell because otherwise he would just be quite a loser in my book.
Yeah.
Because he's been losing a lot lately.
Yeah.
And the whole Money in the Bank situation on top of it, I mean, he needed to get some retribution.
Yeah, we already have another loser that I'll talk about later on SmackDown when he comes
yes.
out.
Yes. I know what you're going at.
So it's like we can't have this guy lose as well. And I thought I think it was a good call to have him win. He won with knocking AJ out of the ring, which that kick was awesome. Like, I was like, damn, that had to hurt when he kicked him out of the ring the other night. And I feel like there were so many weird things about him with how he lost Money in the Bank and kind of weird things that, you read online and you're like, I don't, where are we blurring the lines on this kind of stuff? And, I don't know why he's going to trash all those people that talk lovely things about him online.
So, question for you guys with WWE, because since I'm a newer fan than everybody else, at what point can you say you believe what WWE is posting on their own website, and what can you not believe? Because I know part of it from my boyfriend telling me is storyline that they're just, kind of pushing out there to get more into it. And then part of it is real, stuff. Especially with what was going on with the Hell in a Cell match with Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens. WWE says on the website, Shane suffered XYZ injury, but is that actually true? And that's what I don't understand, with the website and everything. Just as a new fan.
Oftentimes it's true when they show you the footage. When they show you what happens, someone getting stitches, what happened to Cesaro a few weeks ago at No Mercy, like they're showing you what happened. They're showing the medics working on them, stuff like that. So usually that is the case. And then other times when you're not seeing what it is, or you just sort of know in storyline someone's going away for a while, that's the show aspect to it. So Shane's probably not feeling good. Probably did have a couple injuries. They might have hyped it up a little bit more, also to make Kevin Owens look really good.
True.
Yeah.
So do we think Shane has an injury? Yeah.
I mean, I think he's probably really sore. I don't think he has an injury. Like, I feel like he's going to come back from this, and we'll see another match out of him.
Right.
But, it's such a weird thing when they do that. They do blur the lines of where are we going with this, but, I mean, it's really hard to tell sometimes. Until you, see the person, oh, so-and-so broke his leg, and he's walking around somewhere. You're like, all right, well, you're obviously really not hurt.
Well, Shane didn't come back this week, but we did see KO, and he looked fine.
Well, he was limping.
Yeah, he looked kind of.
Oh, well, he was limping.
Yes.
You're right. But
Yeah.
I mean, was it a real limp or was it a gimp?
Yeah, I don't know.
A show gimp.
Yeah.
A show gimp. That's
Yeah,
our new term.
Yeah, he hyped it up more than probably he was limping around. But I don't know. The hell that they went through in that match, I wouldn't. He could have came out. He could have got pushed out in a wheelchair, and I would have been fine with,
Like you would've
believing
bought
that.
it.
Yeah, I would have been like, okay, yeah, that's he fell off the side of the cell. They were bumping around on the top of it, like.
Yeah, but I will say Kevin Owens had like the lighter side of it. He didn't get as, dirty with the fighting. I mean, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But Shane was doing all the major stunts. that
No,
night.
but he did do that cannonball into that table.
Yeah.
That was-
Yes.
that
There
was-
were moments.
Yes.
But I think on a scale it was probably like, 60-40 or
Yeah,
something.
I mean, yeah, he
60
didn't.
Shane, 40
he didn't jump
Kevin.
off the top. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Corbin wasn't hurt that night. So he came back again, had this interview with Renee. It seems like he's very confident, and he's going to keep defending this title that he, just recently received at Hell in a Cell. Next up, we see Carmela versus Becky Lynch. And Becky Lynch is going crazy on Carmela in the very beginning of the match. Carmela's screaming like her life depended on it. I don't think I've recently seen her scream like that. I'm sure she has in the past, though. Carmela winds up on the outside of the ring, and she tried to call a timeout during the
Smart.
match.
Yeah.
Smart, but I mean, come on, who's going to really give you that timeout?
The ref should. She's
Yeah, right.
screaming for her life.
Yeah, she's outside
She's
of the ring.
screaming because she's scared, not because anything's wrong with her.
Oh, if people bleed, refs pull out the gloves and check on them and stop everything. But if someone's screaming and asks for a timeout, I guess you have to bleed from the head in order to get that.
Yeah.
It pretty much doesn't count unless there's blood.
Figure out your rules, WWE. Be consistent.
Well, we also see her hiding behind Ellsworth, which I thought was cute, to say the least. He was defending her. Didn't throw any punches, though. I was shocked. And then she gave a kick through his legs and was able to knock Becky Lynch down. But ultimately, Becky Lynch won. Yet again, Carmella lost. Carmella lost by submission. So what'd you guys think of this match?
That was pretty good. It was nice to see Becky out and about again and, bringing it to Carmella. And Carmella gets to show her stuff and show that she's cowardly and show that she's trying to take every advantage she can to win or to get away from danger.
What about you?
I mean, hey, the big hog's not gonna, lay his hand on a woman. He respects them, so that's why he didn't
That's
punch.
true.
Only when they ask him to lay a hand on him.
Exactly.
Well, what if Carmella asked?
I'm sure he would do it right away.
Yeah.
He could maybe leash them up also. It'll be there.
I feel like it'd be the other way around of her smacking him around.
No, because you know what? Then Carmella would be so upset if someone else took Ellsworth as their pet.
Yeah.
I think she'd be freaking out at that point.
Yeah.
True.
She may even give her money in the bank for that. I don't know.
I'd keep that instead of Ellsworth.
I know, I'm just kidding.
You're foolish.
Who
But
knows?
yeah, it was good, and then it was good to have Becky win. It's kind of there's a lot of storylines we haven't really seen though. Like we haven't really seen Naomi in anything, especially after whenever that Fatal 5-Way was, where they kind
Yeah.
of started her and Tamina fighting. But I mean, I feel like next week it's gonna be either like a 8-woman tag or 6-woman tag with, and then we'll branch off from there. Because I don't think Natalya and Charlotte are done either. So
No, and I really want to see where Lana and Tamina are taking all this because we always see them in backstage interviews, and we keep saying there's gonna be a storyline here, there's gonna be a storyline, but we've never seen it yet. So I wonder where they're gonna bring it.
And we have Survivor Series coming up, so there could be teams.
yeah,
Could be Captain Charlotte and Captain Natalya.
yeah,
Right.
So-
It seems like they're just riding smoothly right now, and then something crazy is gonna go down eventually.
yeah.
True.
I don't know. We shall see. But talk about crazy. There's someone crazy in the building tonight again, and it's Kevin Owens. Yeah, my favorite. It's funny because everyone's booing him constantly. It's like the crowd goes silent for him or they're booing. It's one or the other. And he said, I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I sent Shane McMahon to hell. It's pretty deep. Then Kevin talks about St. Peter talking to him. This was just out of this world. And he literally said he was going out of this world and came back to Earth because he had more to do here. This was so funny in a way. It just really develops his character from insane to the next level of whatever insane is. You know? He's just so out there.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's a weird dynamic that they're putting them into, because with Owens calling Sami Zayn like his guardian angel, like it's weirdly like he's becoming the Jericho of their group, where like he's putting Sami on this pedestal, like Jericho did with him.
Yeah,
So-
but I like that they're still distinguishing it enough that from the Jericho Owens relationship that it's something else. And Sami had this a tremendous promo justifying all of his actions and his career in the WWE up to this point.
Yeah.
I feel like this is leading up to Sami Zayn taking an authority position with Kevin Owens on the Kevin Owens show and kind of telling Kevin the direction of what needs to happen with things. Like, he's going to be making decisions almost like how GM Daniel Bryan makes decisions with matches. Well, Kevin Owens is going to put Sami Zayn in that authority position to make executive calls too.
Yeah, I don't know. I
feel.
don't know if they're going that way, but I mean, we could see it. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I thought Sammy's promo was awesome. This is probably the best promo he's probably done in WWE up to this point. And, you know, I love when they can actually put a good story together that makes sense. Like, everything he said was, like you said, was validated with him being on Raw, not getting a chance, coming to SmackDown to get a chance, and then still never getting an opportunity and being like, screw this. Like, I'm not going to wait around and wait for Shane or Daniel Bryan to give me what I want. I'm just going to take it. And if this is how I'm going to have to do it, then sorry, Shane, you're going through a table. Like, you know?
Right.
And Kevin Owens, my brother, tried to wake me up.
Yes.
And I thank him for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And yeah, because someone was saying, I don't know, someone was like, didn't he just powerbomb like 2 weeks ago? And it's like, well, yeah, but
And he
you know,
acknowledged it.
yeah, which was awesome. So
Yeah, so he fully like developed his story on tonight's show and explained exactly why he did what he did. He had this pivotal moment that night, you know, even before that night on the SmackDown before Hell in a Cell when he had that backstage moment with Shane McMahon, and Shane kind of blew him off. He was trying to help Shane. He wanted Shane to win the match, and he was warning him, but Shane was kind of like, "You do me, I'll worry about myself." You know, get out of here, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, that's how he was reacting to him. So Sami kind of felt memories of being suppressed all this time in WWE and not being able to, you know, be at his full potential. So because of that, he decided, you know what, I'm going to turn and save someone who had been in my life and been a good friend to me at one point. And he went in and saved Kevin Owens from the wrath of Shane McMahon that night in Hell in a Cell. And I thought it was so funny tonight to see fans in the audience with posters that say, like, why, Sami, why, you know? That was great. So it was cool to see. And then it seems like, you know, they're rekindling their friendship tonight. I don't know where they're going to go with it, but it seems, in my perspective, that he may take that authority position and actually be able to do something in WWE for once. So we'll see.
Well, I see him doing, you know, what he said he would be as his guardian angel, is, you know, Kevin Owens getting in these situations and Sami stepping in and saving him, taking the bullet for him.
yeah.
Right.
How long can he do that for though?
He's done it. He's been
Yeah,
taking
I know,
bullets
yeah.
directly from
Yeah.
Kevin Owens before, so anything else
Yeah.
might be a breeze.
Yeah.
Well, Sami did say KO will always be, you know, my brother. He said, I saved my brother because it was the right thing to do. And then Sami actually thanked Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens had thanked Sami. And then they were raising each other's hands a million times.
That was hilarious
Yeah.
because that felt like them messing around. Because the music plays
Yep.
at the outro, like, you know, the segment's over, and it felt like they were riffing.
Yeah.
And it felt like they took over the show at that point. I don't know if it was scripted or not, but that felt fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And getting the crowd to get mad of they're just going to constantly thank
Each other.
the other one.
That's
Yeah.
great. Well, also it was kind of funny because when they were raising each other's hands, again, what I was mentioning before, you know, Sami Zayn, they kind of like Sami Zayn. He's a good guy. But with Kevin Owens, it's either silence again or they're booing, but it seemed really quiet that last time. You
Yeah.
know, he was kind of up in the air with his arm. So, I'm surprised, like, more people don't want a hater in control. Like,
Nah,
don't you want...
We've had that though for so
I
long.
guess.
like Stephanie and Triple H. How long? Like the.
But I love
authority.
that. Do you not love that?
It was good at first, but it just went on a little too much. Like, so I think it's good that we now have, two good guys in control of the shows, and it's something different.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, going on to a mix of good and bad people, we have Randy Orton teaming up with, Shinsuke Nakamura, and they're going against Rusev and Aiden English now.
Oh man, anyone could win this match.
I think
That's what I thought.
these were the moments you guys might have been mentioning earlier.
As my favorite? No.
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 But maybe
About a losers?
least favorite. Yeah, the loser moment. The loser moment. Randy Orton throws Rusev onto the commentator table during this match. He doesn't even remove the equipment before he does it.
Doesn't need to.
No, I guess it hurt. It looked painful.
That's too much work for Randy to do.
Yeah, he's just he likes to get in and out, quick
Yeah,
matches.
yeah.
You
I
know?
got a flight. I gotta get going.
It's true. He probably has a time limit. I can only wrestle for this amount of time. It's like, all right,
My
where are we at?
Fitbit's dying out. Gotta charge it.
That's so funny. So Orton also had a nice moment where he power slams Aiden English in the ring. And then we see Shinsuke Nakamura and Orton win. Rusev loses again. What happened?
I don't. I mean, Aiden English was the one that got pinned, so Rusev really didn't lose, but he
was on the losing team.
Yeah, I was on the pay-per-view show the other night, and I was like, I don't understand the point of having Rusev lose to Orton. Like, I don't get what they're doing. And now it seems like they're going to probably transition into him versus Nakamura. I'm guessing with this match is what they're kind of setting up for. So it's like, all right, I don't know. I said the other night, too, Nakamura, he loses to Jinder, and, lost basically clean to Jinder.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I said, I don't know how people that don't know, that haven't watched NXT, don't look at him and think he's a loser. Nakamura, I'm talking about now.
Okay.
Because he can beat Orton, he can beat John Cena, but he can't beat Jinder Mahal. Like, what? I don't get the logic behind that. So
Yeah, and then what if you put Rusev and Shinsuke together in a match? I mean, if you have Rusev lose again, Rusev's going to look like a loser too.
Yeah.
It's kind of bad for both of them.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Either way, if they go against each other and one of them loses, they're just in a bad position.
Yeah.
So I hope they don't put them together.
And you know what I just realized? That Jinder wasn't even on the show. Didn't even realize that the WWE champion wasn't even on the show tonight. No mention of him. Nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, maybe
You're right.
Yeah, that's
in
why it
this
was a pretty
match.
good show.
Yeah, I guess so.
No Shinsuke segment there, so it made the show a lot better tonight.
It's so weird.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
you're right though. I mean, come on, he
Copying
just
Raw.
retained his
Yeah,
championship.
exactly.
Why is he not on SmackDown?
Doesn't have enough days in his contract to compete, I guess.
Yeah, I guess
He's on that
so.
Brock Lesnar contract.
That's funny. He's too good now.
Yeah.
He's like looking down at all the little people. I'm up here.
The Singh brothers.
But I don't even know who was going to go against him next, though. Like, who, like...
The writers might be doing that too.
I know, right?
No, who's it gonna be?
Like-
Now, you know what would be really cool? What if they had the Singh brothers kind of go against Jinder? They turn.
Maybe.
You're
I can
right.
see them do
that
that
could
later.
be kind of cool.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
There has to be an incentive, though. So someone's going to have to, give them an incentive. Another wrestler, maybe.
Yeah. I feel like they have to wait till... Like, they haven't been together, long enough with him. But, yeah.
Yeah, but I think at some point it might be a cool idea. You never know to
Yeah.
switch things up. After this match, we see AJ Styles backstage with Renee. So it's funny. We get Corbin's side, then we get AJ's side, and then...
And then nothing from Ty Dillinger.
Yeah. Sorry,
You're
Ty.
right. Ty didn't make it this week either.
He's with Jinder hanging out.
Yeah, him and Jinder.
Can I be a Singh brother?
Yeah.
I'll be 10 Singh.
Oh, you guys. So AJ's backstage with Renee, and they're talking about how Baron Corbin makes mistakes. Of course, something he keeps mentioning. And he says it is the end of days for Baron Corbin's title reign. Well, the days have been very short then if they're the end of days.
AJ Styles is solid on his promos. I mean, it's something with the Global Wrestling Network app launching and what people's speculation of AJ Styles was back in those days of TNA. And they're like, he'll never make it to the WWE. He can't talk. Like, he's great in the ring, but they'll just never take him. And what AJ Styles has done all of these years up to this point, He's so good all around, and his promos are fantastic. Even the little throwaway promos like tonight.
Yep.
It's solid.
Yeah, and I think like so many of us, I mean, even at AfterBuzz, with more time and experience, you get better at what you're doing. So it's nice to see these wrestlers grow and develop over time, especially not only with their skills, but their character development as well.
Yeah. I can't think of, since he's been in like a bad promo he's had though. Like he's good every time he talks. Like, and because he knows he just gets to the point. He says what he needs to say and gets out. He doesn't ramble on, and
he's very
keep it
confident
going.
in
Yes, yeah. And he's always been confident. Yeah, I think that's what really helps him, is that he's always confident in everything he says.
And he could really incite a crowd. It's not just going through the motions of the lines. Like when he brings up, this is the house that AJ Styles built, he takes his time and takes that moment so the crowd can get in on it with him.
Very well done. Well, AJ did not keep his U.S. title, but Baron Corbin has it. And then speaking of tag team championships, we see a promo for Rowan and Luke Harper. And they are now the Bludgeon Brothers. What do we think about this promo, you guys?
Yeah. Favorite part of the show.
Finally, we got them back.
Oh, man. And they got hammers now.
Yep.
Better than Triple H's lousy sledgehammer that bounces.
Well, being that they placed this promo right after, I'm almost wondering if they're going to try and go for a tag team championship.
They could go after anything they want. They've got gigantic hammers. They're going to bludgeon people. How great is that?
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
But it's funny,
I hope it's cool.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really awesome, but why did they not introduce them when they had all of the tag team partners in the division in the ring?
Because I think they wanted to wait. Like, I think this is like a good intro little vignette thing. They're like, all right, this is where we're coming. This is what's going on. I think if they would have just introduced them earlier, it would have taken away from what they showed tonight.
Okay.
I think, it takes away anything from the spotlight of the contenders we saw and whoever it could have been that won, that you go, oh, in a promo, then it's going to be Harper and Rowan. Like, it'll just be those guys, and these guys are placeholders. But now we can see Gable and Benjamin get a shot, and Harper and Rowan may do all sorts of other stuff in between. They may go after other guys. They may do something else entirely. And who knows, maybe they'll break up the Hype Bros by hitting them with hammers. And do us all a favor.
Yeah, there we go.
That's great. Well, I could also see them getting involved with the number one contenders, Gable and Shelton, and trying to be the number one contenders next. So that could be how they kind of enter into SmackDown's roster.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it, and I said to Scott earlier, I wish at the end, when they would have like smashed like into the camera with the hammer, just to and then just kind of like have it shatter. I think it would have been a cool effect for them to do.
They haven't been on TV forever, and you're trying to get them suspended for breaking equipment?
No, they can put up a fake glass. What are you talking about?
Come on, you work in the business. If we were to cut a promo and then I smash your cameras, you'd be like, get out of here.
Just into the... Like, they could put an effect on there. There's plenty of things they can do.
You know what's so funny? I was on a shoot once, and I think I remember saying, I don't know if it was water or something part of what we were doing, but I was like, let's like throw it at the camera, and it will look so cool, in the when you're editing and stuff. And they're like, no, we're not going to do that. Because God forbid something breaks, just like what you said, Scott. And it makes sense. Because even if it is faked, if somebody messes up or goes a little too far and they shatter that lens, like that's hundreds of thousands of
but they can
dollars.
like put glass and then shoot up close to it. They can figure out a way to do
I
it.
see what
These
you're
are
saying.
the Bludgeon Brothers.
I know.
They are taking anything out.
Exactly. It would be cool to see them take out the camera. I'm not paying the bill on this camera.
You are with your network subscription.
I want to say this. People take cameras and smash them over people's backs all the time and hit them in the face with them. So
Those are always the old ones. Those are always the ones
Yeah.
that kind of
everyone do it. I don't
replace us.
care.
Well, I was going to say also like in Hell in a Cell and all these other pay-per-views and events where they're ripping out the stuff from the commentator booths and throwing things on the floor. And I think actually, I don't know if it was Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens match where they smashed a monitor on somebody. But when they do stuff like that, I'm like, oh, those monitors must have been really affordable because there's no way that they're just like smashing these monitors and buying new ones every week if they're really expensive.
But I don't, they're really, those ones that are like the old school, like the boxed ones, those are pretty expensive. and they used to just take them and throw them all over the place. Now they have them like in a weird like protective like plastic covering that I think, you know, keeps them not from breaking all the time. But when they start ripping those cables out, like I don't know how many times like you can do that to where they aren't just breaking, and they're like, oh, well, this monitor's not working. Like, do you think they have a truck just full of monitors?
I think they have just a bunch of like meek crew people. Like, could you please not do that, Mr. Braun Strowman? Could you not rip apart the monitors?
Well, tonight, like I said, Randy Orton threw somebody onto the commentator booth. Mm-hmm. So when they're doing things like that and not removing the equipment, how is it not breaking?
I guess they just have it padded enough to where, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or they don't care.
Yeah, that too. I think it's just like, well, buy another monitor.
They probably have a deal with the distribution company to like get monitors for cheap, like real quick. Yeah. Because they probably get them in bulk.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sure they in their truck they have to have like 30. I mean, they have a million monitors. If you ever go to a live show and they're like on the hard camera side, like they're always, you know, tables full of like computer monitors and all the other monitors. So they probably have like 50 million of those things. Yeah,
they're not touching those babies though.
No, yeah, not yet.
So then next up we have Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler on the mic. The first WWE pay-per-view match was absolutely glorious, Bobby says. And he says, until Dolph attacked me from behind. And then Dolph enters, no music again, cuts everything. So boring, Dolph Ziggler, what are you doing? And then he talks about how he is the greatest WWE performer in history, nothing that we haven't heard before, and exposed Bobby for what he really is, a fraud. I feel like this is a repeat from SmackDown before Hell in a Cell.
But now he's a cheater.
Yeah, cheater, yeah.
Now he's a cheater.
He did cheat to win.
Dolph also shows a replay picture of how Bobby pinned Dolph at Hell in a Cell with an illegal pin, and Bobby agrees to another match and tells Dolph he wants a rematch now. And so they say, you can't always get what you want, brother. I have my rematch where and when I want. Sure as hell won't be here tonight, from Dolph Ziggler.
Not in that city. Wherever they were.
Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids. What's wrong with Grand Rapids?
I'm not going to fight there.
Oh, okay. Look, standards over here.
I thought it was rude of Bobby Roode not to say that Dolph's ass crack looked glorious.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny. These guys. Well, anyways, I'm excited for their next match. Hopefully we see something good out of these two. And I believe that's going to be next week. Yeah.
Could be.
That's what it said on the graphics. So.
Sure, along with Fashion Files and the return of the Bludgeon Brothers. None of the events is ever going to happen.
You know what? I was asking before about the website being true. We don't even know if what's on the show is true when it comes to the facts of what's happening the next week.
They have to change the phrase from card subject to change to show subject to change.
Yeah, that's true. Show subject to change, like a disclaimer beforehand. And then, you know, one of the last things we see of the night, we have two more things coming up, but AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin, the new U.S. Championship title holder. We see them against each other. We had nice drop kicks on Baron Corbin right at the top of the match. And then I was thinking the whole time, will Corbin be that cheap shot artist again in the match, you know, that we're seeing this evening? Corbin flies over the announce table, another event where we hit the announce table. And then AJ delivers a phenomenal forearm. I thought that was really great. Nice move tonight. AJ slams Corbin into the turnbuckle. Ouch. And then gains control back. Gets Corbin into a calf crusher. And then Corbin breaks free. I liked this break free moment. It was really cool. Super strong on Corbin's behalf. And then there was a Pele kick on Corbin. I thought that was nice as well. And then Corbin wins and retains the U.S. Championship title with his end of days finisher. Did you guys think he was going to retain?
I really thought this match was going to end with Owens and Sami Zayn coming out and going after AJ. Because they kind of teased stuff on Talking Smack after Hell in a Cell of like AJ being like, oh, Shane McMahon needs help against these guys. I'm going to be the one to help him. So I thought that was how it was going to end. And then, you know, but it was a decisive, like, clean win for Corbin, which I think he needs because they need to build him back up. And I thought it was an awesome match. Like, the drop kick from AJ to Corbin on the outside when he went over the announce table, he kicked him right in the face. Like, there was no holding back on that. And then he can hit that phenomenal forearm. Like, anytime he, like, springs over the rope, he can probably do it. It's crazy how he does that. And yeah, I thought it was a good match. It was fun. So.
What about you, Scott?
I did not think Baron was going to walk away with it. You know, we've had the matches with AJ Styles and Kevin Owens where the title was going back and forth, and I thought they were going to emphasize more that Baron is making mistakes and he would make a mistake tonight and AJ would capitalize on it. Didn't happen. So it was cool to be invested and actually think that Baron was going to lose rather than the normal mentality of, oh, he just won the title. He can't lose it now. He just won it.
I thought that, Baron was going to lose it as well and AJ would get it back. But I'm actually happy that Baron Corbin retained. Because like you said, Tom, he needs to kind of run with it and build up his character.
Yeah. And I think it's a good way of like breaking. All right, now AJ lost clean. He can't come back and say, oh, I, got screwed out of the match. And then we can see AJ go on to something different and Corbin go on to something different, which I feel like maybe Ty's going to step up again. Because he can come back and say, hey, I did pin you last week. Now that you have the belt, I want a match. So I think there's a lot of different feuds coming down the lane for us on SmackDown. Because, like I said, who's Jinder going against? I can't think of can you really think of anybody who he would go against now?
What about Rusev? I mean, I know he's losing a lot, but could they put Rusev against Jinder?
It'd be a weird way to get him in there. I mean, I think they could if they really wanted to, but he's still kind of like a bad guy, so.
Yeah.
Free agent John Cena.
Maybe.
He tried to fight Roman. I was like, whoa, that was tough. I'll fight Jinder.
I don't know if I'm ready
number
for
17 or 17 went up. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be
He's your
Cena.
favorite, though. Wouldn't you want to see that?
No, I'm okay with that. He can go make movies. I'm waiting for that movie career to take off.
Yeah, true.
I want to get that movie money.
I think it's from Total Bellas. We know that he's busy on movies and stuff this year,
Yeah.
so we probably won't be seeing a lot of him. And from that SmackDown where he kind of looked like he said a farewell, which was crazy.
So I don't think it's gonna be. I'm racking my brain to think of another guy who's gonna go against him. It's not gonna be Orton, obviously. It ain't Nakamura.
Well, maybe our listeners will comment in the comments on our YouTube
Exactly.
page.
That's a great idea. So, guys at home, if you're listening and watching, please comment below and let us know who you think is going to go up against Jinder next. But I think that about wraps us up for this week's SmackDown Live. I thought it was a really good show to come back from Hell in a Cell. And they kind of went into new ways with their storyline. So I liked the direction we're moving towards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. To my left.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TomTheCom.
And you can find me on social media at Scott Narver and check out youtube.com/OnYourMarkShow for hilarious shoot wrestling interviews with tons of guests. And upcoming is Andrew Everett from Impact Wrestling. So check that out. And Wrestling Compadre Slamcast. Some big news. Check out our Facebook page and Twitter and all that. We got some big announcement and stuff coming up in the future.
Yes, make sure to follow my amazing co-host here who joined me tonight on SmackDown Live for AfterBuzz TV. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Gabby Loren. I'm merging my accounts right now. Twitter, Gabrielle_Loren. And I just did a segment on Celebrity Page TV, which is on Reel's channel or affiliate stations like ABC. You guys need to check out the HollywoodHotlist.com because I cover, the best products for social media, getting a following, different products that you can use even on your cell phones to take photos. So it's really cool. That's HollywoodHotlist.com. So until next week, I'm Gabby Loren for Scott Narver and Tom Connoly. We'll see you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Yeah.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.